Hello from our hotel room in St. John's. This is actually our second hotel room in this hotel because apparently here they don't have spring break the same time that we do in Alberta, which was at the end of March. Apparently they have an Easter break happening right now, which means there are a bunch of hockey tournaments happening right now. Kaeley booked this hotel for us because we all love the swimming pool and the hot tub, and this was the only one that had a pool. So of course we wanted that one. But the problem with choosing the hotel with the pool is that is also the hotel that all of the people with mini children on their sports teams choose. I guess the front desk person didn't like us or something because she put me and Kelsey's room on the same floor. Our room was just surrounded by hockey team kids. It was horrible. First night we were here, I was up until 3 in the morning, just like every 10-15 minutes being woken up by kids screaming and running down the hallway. It was insane. But anyways, put up with that. The next night was okay. The night after that, a whole other slew of crazy sports kids moved in, and I was like, enough is enough. I like amped myself up because I'm super amiable and non-confrontational and I hate asking for stuff like this, and Kelsey is the same way. But I called the front desk and I was like, hi, so yeah, we're surrounded by a bunch of sports teams that are very loud, and we were wondering if there's any rooms on any other floors that we can maybe move to. And before I even like finished my very thought out speech requesting a new room, the guy in the end room was like, no problem, we can do that. So it's nice. So we moved to this room, which is 3 floors higher and out of the earshot of all the crazy kids. So the reason I am here is that I play in the backing band for a singer-songwriter named Kaeley Jade, has become one of my closest friends. Our band is made up of her and her partner Gab and my partner Kelsey and then our other friend Jordan, who we've all been friends for years. We all just kind of eventually came to be the members of the band. Being part of this band has been one of the biggest joys of my life over the last couple of years. We've gotten to have so many wonderful experiences within the Edmonton area, but also we've gone on lots of really cool trips together. This maybe topping the list. I love Atlantic Canada. It's so beautiful over here. The people are amazing. The food is amazing. The sights are beautiful. I'll get into all of that, but just wanted to give a little background. Oh, I didn't even finish that explanation. So here with Kaeley, because she was nominated for 3 awards for the Canadian Folk Music Awards, and the Canadian Folk Music Awards were held this past weekend, April 6th and 7th. Well, it was actually like April 4th to 7th sort of thing. There was stuff going on Thursday, Friday, and then the big award show nights were Saturday, Sunday. That is the reason I'm here. But let me tell you about the whole trip. So we've been here for 6 days now. The first day was last Wednesday. We left, I was gonna say at the crack of dawn. It was before the crack of dawn. It was like, what was our flight time? It was 7 a.m. so we were at the airport for 5 a.m. Flew to Toronto first, which took 4 hours. We had a very quick turnaround to our next flight, so we were like ready to run and find our next gate, and we got off the plane and we're like, okay, where's our, and we like turn around and the same gate that we had just came out of was the same gate that we were getting back onto for our next flight. So it was literally the same plane. I mean, they wouldn't have let us just stay on, but we could have. Because of the time change, we ended up getting into St. John's at just after 6 p.m, which only felt like 2:30 p.m. to us because there's a 3.5 hour time difference. It's so funny to me. I don't know of anywhere else in the world that has a half-hour time difference. Newfoundland might be the only place, I'm not totally sure, but it's definitely the only one in Canada. We had a volunteer driver pick us up from the airport and bring us to the hotel.
And what band are you guys with?
Kaeley Jade.
She was so wonderful. She gave us all kinds of tips on things that we should do and things that we should see while we were here. She was so lovely. Her name is Anita. I went on my phone and I was going through Google Maps and like typing them in and saving all the places, and we ended up getting to go to most of them while we were here, which was awesome. One of my favorite things about this city is that it's, I mean, of course we didn't see all of it. We are just in the downtown area. We did do a little traveling outside, but everything is walkable. Like we got to everywhere we needed to go in walking distance, which was super cool. So we first got here, got unpacked, and then we went to a cute little restaurant bar called Adelaide Oyster House, and we all tried oysters for the first time.
Very salty. Quite good.
Salt? Okay. Looks pretty good.
That first night that we got here, when we walked to the oyster bar, I was so nervous about what the weather was going to be like while we were here because it was literally snowing sideways trying to walk to the restaurant. I would have gotten video of it, but I came a little ill prepared for the weather and I had no gloves, so I was freezing. I only brought like a raincoat because when I looked at the forecast from home, it said it was going to be between 0 and 4 degrees every day. On the coast, when you're right by the water, even like a few degrees is way colder because you get these breezes coming in off the ocean that are freezing cold. So anyways, I learned how to properly layer for the weather here after the first few days, but that first night was rough. But the food was really good. We had oysters. I also had like kimchi and a taco. It was kind of like a small bites kind of place. Day 2 was maybe my favorite day. We got up and we went for coffee at place called Terre Cafe. Our driver told us that it was the best coffee and pastries in St. John's, and it did not disappoint. It was delicious. We also had the most delicious vegan wrap that we grabbed from there. It was a wrap that had like the main filling was like seasoned cauliflower and potato in with like lettuce, tomato, pickle, and some kind of like curry sauce. And it was so good. I never would have thought that like cold potato and cauliflower in a wrap would be good, but I'm gonna try and replicate that like probably as soon as we get home because I can't stop thinking about it. So from there we walked to Signal Hill, which was one of the main things that people told us that we needed to do while we were here, and it also did not disappoint. It was beautiful. It was a super foggy day that day, but it kind of made it more beautiful in a way. It felt so like mysterious and moody, and it was just really lovely. And we hiked up through that area. There's a bunch of different trails in that area, so we kind of did all of that.
Ahoy!
Also during the Ice Age.
World support had won the Air Force Battle of Britain in 1941. It appeared the only way to eventually defeat Germany was to invade Germany itself.
100 long-range submarine.
There was a part of the mid-Atlantic called the Black Pit, which initially was beyond the reach of the escort ships and planes.
Favorite colors there. The blue in between. Also be rock. Keep it on the track.
No, this is good. This is good. Okay, get in there. Everyone go around Kaeley. Kaeley's in the center. Oh my god, Jordy. You're making me nervous. You're also way too high up here at the front.
Yeah, we won't.
Got new hats that are these colors, pretty much exactly.
See how big the bird?
Put this on your head. It's too big now. I made it too big for you.
Do you want to build a snowman? Ball Association. Oh.
After doing kind of all the different paths and trails in that area, we took the path that led us to Kitty Vitty, which is a little village northeast of St. John's, and it was so sweet and charming there. So we just went in and went right to the brewery because it seems like more of a tourist destination, and everything that we were told is that we are very much here in the off season. As you can maybe see out this window, it actually snowed a bunch last night. All the snow was gone when we got here, but it's snowy again. It's very much still end of winter here. They have a very quick transition from winter to summer here, not really much of a spring. So basically like a lot of the main stuff that would normally be going on in Kitty Vitty wasn't happening because that was kind of the case for a lot of stuff. Here it was closed because it's not tourist season right now, which ended up being a good thing for us for the most part. We didn't get to do everything, but I would have traded that over having people everywhere all the time in a heartbeat. It was so nice. So at the brewery in Kitty Vitty, we all got flights of beer to try. I am slowly becoming a beer drinker, only craft beer. I'm not really interested in just whatever you can buy at the store. Trying craft beers at a brewery has become something I really like doing, so we all, except for Jordan because he doesn't like beer at all, we all got little flights of beer and tried a bunch of different kinds. Got a seafood chowder that was delicious, and my friends all got fish and chips that I got to try, which were so good, like unbelievably. I have no desire to even have the seafood back at home because it's just so much better when you're somewhere like this. On our way back from Kitty Vitty, we did a little bit of exploring in downtown St. John's, and one of the highlights of that was stopping in this little plant shop where we met this lady named Vicky, who she runs the plant shop, and then in the back has this kind of little cafe where she, like a little mini cafe where she makes her own menu of drinks, and she was just so sweet and welcoming and was so excited that we all wanted to come in and sit down and have a coffee with her and chat, and it was such a lovely little experience. And she also gave us a whole bunch of tips on what to do and where to go, and just another beautiful Newfoundlander welcoming us and giving us advice and tips. We also stopped in at this little shop called Posy Row, which was a couple doors down, that had the cutest stuff. I could have bought half the things in there and been delighted, but I bought myself a beret I'm very excited about. I'll be wearing that a lot, I'm sure. And then we also stopped in at a famous vinyl shop in St. John's called Fred's, which was actually one of the sponsors of the CFMAs.
That is cool. I might buy that.
Especially when it's
On day 3, Kelsey and I started the day on our own. We went out and did a little shopping, went back to some of the stores that we had walked past the previous day. We went into Freak Lunchbox, which is a novelty import candy store that is apparently an Eastern Canada thing. I went to one when I visited my family in Halifax. They were like, oh, you gotta go to Freak Lunchbox, it's the thing. So yeah, I guess they have them here too. And then we went to a place called Craig's Cookies. It was so good. Kelsey and I each got 3 cookies and nibbled on those for the next few days, and it was incredible. And that evening we had a little mixer with all of the folks that were here for the Canadian Folk Music Awards. Just a whole bunch of us folkies in there roaming around, chatting, having drinks. It was a really nice first introduction. I get really nervous at like socializing events like that. I have a hard time just like walking up to people and being like, hey, I'm Katie, who are you? Why are you here? But it ended up being good. We made some friends that we got to visit with over the course of the weekend. And then we ended up going to see a show where some of the other nominees performed, which was really lovely.
Open as the daffodil begins to wilt, and the crocus choose history. See this house I've built.
Day 4, we kicked off by going to, this was Saturday, we went to a cafe that's very close to our hotel called Rocket, which ended up being one of my favorite cafes that we visited. I've learned that one of my favorite things about traveling is like cafe touring. I could be happy just going on a trip that the purpose is to just visit every cafe in a city. That's like, that's ideal for me. So we got our breakfast and then grabbed a cab to go to Cape Spear, which is the most easternmost point, the most easterly point in North America. It was so cool. I'm so glad we got to do it. Basically, you're just on the edge of the world. It feels like you're just looking out into the vast Atlantic Ocean. There's like one particular spot where you literally feel like you're just on the edge looking out at the endless ocean. It's so cool. And then we didn't end up doing one of the full hiking trails that they recommended. We just kind of meandered around there for a couple of hours, but it was really lovely.
It was definitely best shots are from me being goofy. Okay?
I love the coloring of all of the plant life and rocks on the coastline. It's just so charming. I feel very inspired by the colors around in nature here. It's just so different from what we have at home. I'm sure people here think it's boring, but I love it. And then in the afternoon when we got back, we went to Bannerman, which is another brewery that was recommended to us. Food was great. I didn't have a beer there, but the other folks said that it was good. And then it was night 1 of the awards presentations. So we were just audience members for this one because our performance was on the Sunday night. My main memory of sitting in the audience for the first night of the award shows was like, holy crap, I can't believe they picked us and our band to also perform at this. Like, it was crazy seeing the level that these musicians were playing at and that they felt like we were also up there. Like, it was just, it's so surreal, so crazy. After the show ended, we ended the night at an open mic at the Ship Pub, which I have learned is one of the most infamous pubs in St. John's. It was a really good time. There's so many people there. Open mic was set up so that everybody could come up and do 2 songs that wanted to. We went up and did a couple. Kaeley covered Jolene, and then we did one of her other originals. It was really fun. I just feel like everyone in the Canadian folk music community is so kind and welcoming. Like, I did not talk to a single person that was just not so sweet and so kind and made us feel like one of them. It's so nice to find your people, especially when you're in a place where people from all over the country are coming together. Day 5, which was yesterday, Sunday, was our big show day, so we didn't really do much during the day. It was kind of just a big build up to the evening, getting ready for the show.
Button down or button up?
Oh, nice.
Wow, you can just the K factor.
This is so much worse than it should be. Kaeley Jade on 3.
Okay, sure.
Jade or Kaeley Jade?
Kaeley Jade.
So we ended up playing first, which was a blessing in disguise because we didn't have any time to get anxious and worked up while waiting to play. We just sound checked and went and ate dinner and came back and played, and then it was done and it went really well. The sound and tech crew there were incredible. Everything looked and sounded amazing. There was a live stream happening that it turned out so good. It was a really good capture of our live performance, so we were really excited about that. And then the first 2 awards that Kaeley was nominated for were announced on the first night, which she did not win, but she did win the 3rd award she was nominated for, which was announced last night, which is the Indigenous Songwriter of the Year. So congratulations, Kaeley. It was so awesome. Obviously, all had our fingers crossed, and we knew that her album was incredible and award deserving, but you never know what's going to happen at these things. So we were all super excited for her that she did win. The little glass trophies were so beautiful, although very heavy. And that brings us to today, day 6 of the trip. I'm gonna just hold the camera for this last little bit because the fridge just started doing the fridge noises and I fear that it's gonna be loud in the audio, so we're just doing this for the last minute here. Today was also a very chill day. We went for breakfast at Rocket again, Kelsey and I, and then the whole group did some shopping around. I bought a few souvenirs that I hadn't picked up yet. Got Craig's cookies again. I got this ring at the gift shop that we were shopping at, this little guy up here. I bought it to be a pinky ring, but it fits really nicely on this knuckle, so I might kind of switch between. After Kaeley and Gab got picked up to fly to Toronto, which is where they're headed for the next few days, Jordy and Kelsey and I went to, I don't know how to pronounce this, Gahan Brewery, which is just a short walk from our hotel. I had my last batch of delicious fish and chips. I had this really yummy Hascap lavender blonde beer, which I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did, but it was so good. I hope I can find something like it at home. But then while we were there, the coolest thing happened. So today is April 8th, the day of the solar eclipse, and St. John's is on the path of the eclipse. I thought about getting glasses and going to watch it, but we would have had to like rent a car to drive to the place where we would have actually been able to see it, and it's super overcast today and there was just too many factors in the way, so I just thought, well, I hope we kind of get to at least experience it. And while we were having dinner, I was kind of watching the window, and at one point I looked outside and it was dark. Like, it was like suddenly nighttime outside, and I was like, I think this is it. I think it's happening, unless the sun sets way earlier than I remember. But then it like slowly turned to day again, and I was like, yeah, we just experienced the solar eclipse. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that was the trip. It's been really good. I am excited to go home and put all of this footage together for you and have this to relive this really lovely week. I really love it here, and I hope we'll come back again one day. I especially hope we come back as a band to play again, because we found some really cool venues that we could play at in the future. I hope you are having a good day. Thank you so much for watching and for giving me your attention and time. You are the best. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!